Cruise news time, and cruising's pretty great right now, except for the people. It's the day one of my cruise. Cruising's pretty great right now, except for the people. I'm on location. You're not gonna believe this story. Cruise news. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Lido, Loca. I'm your host, Tony, here with the latest cruise news updates. And sorry what I did to you there. Do you have the FOMO? That's the view from my cabin this morning. We're having a sea day, and it's lovely. The temperature is great. It's not too breezy. Super nice. So look, I just want to, this week while I'm on the cruise, while I'm on location, while I'm on the assignment, I just want to come on here and I'll start the show by recapping a little bit about my previous day, and then we'll jump into the cruise news. However, today, the cruise news is about some of the people on the cruise yesterday. Some people that, I think people run the biggest risk of ruining cruising. So let me recap the day. It was perfect. I got up yesterday morning. I did the show. I left my house probably at 9:30, 10 o'clock. I drove over to Port Canaveral, able to park my car with some friends. I caught an Uber, and I got to the cruise terminal about 12:45. I got there earlier than I thought I would be. My check-in time was a little like after 1, but I jumped in the line. The cool thing was when I was at home, I'd uploaded my vaccine card. I'd done all my check-in stuff, my questionnaire, and so when I got to the cruise terminal, it was easy peasy. I was on the cruise ship within 20 minutes. And the way it worked at Port Canaveral yesterday is before I could even get into the terminal, there was a Royal Caribbean employee there. He checked my negative COVID test, he checked my vaccine card, and he also looked at my passport. He didn't look at my boarding pass or anything, so if you're embarking there at Port Canaveral, make sure you have your passport, your negative COVID test, and your vaccine card all together. I keep that all together so that I can hand that to them. You go into the terminal, the first thing you encounter there is the security scan, so put all that documentation somewhere, run it all through the scanner, and then get ready to go up the escalators. When you get up to the escalators, there's all kinds of attendants, all kinds of people there ready to check you in. And at that check-in process, I had to show that paperwork again, plus my boarding pass, which is digital. You get that on the Royal app, or you can put it over to your Apple Wallet. Like if you're an Apple person, I'm not sure what they have for Android, but I had that boarding pass in my Apple Wallet. I got scanned in, and they're like, yeah, go jump on the ship. I walked on the ship. I walked right into my cabin. I dropped my bags. The whole process was 20 minutes. It was awesome. Your key is at your cabin. And then big shout out to my favorite travel agent, my lovely wife, Jenny. She booked me an awesome cabin. The location is great. It's super convenient. If you need help with your travel, you can reach out to Team Jenny. The link is in the description below. You can get into her email queue, jbarnette@expediacruises.com. So I embarked on my cruise day. I went up to the buffet and I had my lunch. Again, I'm trying to stay healthy, so I had a really healthy lunch. You can track along with my food pictures over at the Lido Loca Cruising Community on Facebook, or the Have to Lose Support Crew on Facebook. I've been posting my food pictures there if you're interested in that kind of thing. And so I had lunch, and then I came back to the cabin waiting for the sail away. I was just going to watch the sail away from the cabin. Look, here's one ridiculous thing. It was after 4 o'clock, and they were still telling people to do their muster drill. The muster drill was so easy that I just realized I did not tell you about the muster drill in the recap. As soon as I got into the cabin, I watched the video on the life jacket, I watched the video on what the horn sounds like, and then I went down to the muster station and they just scanned me. That was it. Like, it's the easiest muster. If you haven't cruised in the era of e-muster, it's going to blow your mind the first time you go there and you're like, oh, I don't have to stand on the deck for 40 minutes in the hot sun. No, it's so easy. But still, at after 4 o'clock, they were still, and I think we were supposed to leave at 4. After 4 o'clock, they were still calling people. The announcement was like, we still have passengers who have not completed the muster, the mandatory safety. We cannot leave. You cannot cruise. Finally, that all got done, and it seemed like about 5:30 we got going, and by the time 5:30 was here, I was just, the bed's in front of the door. I was just laying on the bed watching the sail away. I took a little nap. I got up early. What are you going to do? Don't judge me. I know you guys nap in the afternoon. Yeah, it was 5 o'clock. I napped at 5 o'clock. Okay, neither here nor there. That's that cruise life for me. And then, so I knew I wanted to go make more healthy choices. I chose the buffet again at dinner, and I had a show scheduled for 7, show scheduled for 8. So I go back to the buffet, I have dinner, and then I go to the welcome show. And basically, it was a couple numbers by the house orchestra, which was wonderful live music in effect here on Harmony. That's a plus. And then a little talk from the cruise director, very minimal. He didn't mention the capacity, but I did hear the capacity later. And then we had a comedian named Basil. The guy was good. Let me ask you this. Any fans of comedy out there, and maybe any students of comedy, do you know the term crowd work? Crowd work is basically when the comedian stops doing prepared material and he just makes his jokes off of conversations with people in the crowd. Now, some people have made a whole career out of crowd work. Don Rickles, probably the most famous. But normally, comedians, they'll go to crowd work if they're not having good success with their material. And so I feel like the comedian last night went to crowd work pretty quick. I don't know. What do you got? Any students out there? Am I right about that? Is crowd work normally something you go to when your material's not working, or is that? Okay, that we diverted. We digressed. Okay, I'm coming back. So that was cool. Now, this is where, well, I'll just finish out the night. Then I went to the 8 o'clock ice skating show. It's called 1883, I believe, or that's the new Yellowstone show. This could have been called 1887. Either way, it was a cosmic Romeo and Juliet story. Ice skaters doing flips, doing stuff that none of us could do. These guys were in immaculate shape, guys and gals, everybody that was performing. It was an awesome show. So I was very satisfied entertainment-wise. And then after that show, I stopped at the casino. There was no craps game. I came back up to the cabin, talked to Jenny for a bit, and then about 10 o'clock I went down and tested the fates for a couple hours. I did have pizza before the fates, which I think was unlucky. Normally I have pizza after the fates, but I had pizza before the fates. Unlucky. Okay. That's the recap. I know people want to know what's going on the cruise. Yeah, cruising felt normal. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Other than some of the health and safety protocols, everybody had to be masked inside the whole time. There was social distancing. And here's where it gets a little crazy. I got 2 stories to share. Before I get there, let me quickly invite you to subscribe. If you like staying up to date with everything that's going on in cruising, please consider subscribing with the notification bell on. We're trying to get to 18 million subscribers. That's why we're on location right now. I'm trying to get everybody on the Harmony of the Seas to subscribe. So if during this week we get like 2,000 subscribers, I will do it. There it is. 2,100, I hear, is the capacity. That's a little over 30%. The ship feels pretty empty. The other thing, it's been a while since I've been on an Oasis class ship. She's wide, baby. This is a wide ship, and I love it. Okay, we'll talk more about that. I like big ships, and I cannot lie. All right. So the first story that I want to share with you, I met a lot of people yesterday, and it was really cool to connect with people that watch the show. There's nothing more satisfying and humbling than somebody saying we watch you every day, because honestly, everybody who's watching every day keeps this show viable. I know this isn't like TV, but in some ways it is like TV, and viewership is the catalyst for me being able to do this every day. This is how I pay my bills, and so if there were 0 views, I would be doing something else. I could not live a life with 0 views. So huge thank you to everybody that watches the show every day, everybody who comments, hits the like button. Met a lot of those people yesterday, but I met a couple that told me a story that at some point during their day, there was a little bit of an altercation between a passenger and a crew member, where the passenger wasn't wearing their mask correctly or not at all, and the crew member was like, look, you have to wear your mask, and the person was like, I don't have to do anything. You can't tell me what to do. You don't know me. I'm paraphrasing, but it sounded like one of those kind of things where the person got indignant, and the crew member, this was when we were still docked in Port Canaveral, and the crew member hit him with, well, look, we'll put you off the cruise ship. How about that? I wish I would have seen that. I like those how about that moments, like mic drop type moments. Now we're on the seas. I guess they could lock you in your cabin and maybe put you off at the next port. But apparently they witnessed a pretty heated, I'm not wearing a mask, I don't care what you tell me. And they're like, okay, well, we'll put you off the cruise ship, which I think is the appropriate thing to do. If you're coming on the cruise ship, not wanting to follow the rules, any of the rules, they should put you right off the cruise ship. That's my opinion, because this is the other thing that's crazy to me, and I may be too close to the forest to see the trees, because, I'm in this every day, and so I recognize that people aren't in it every day, But you got to understand that we're at an interesting time in cruising, that where everything has to align, where people have to do what they say they're going to do so that cruising can remain viable. And it just blows my mind when people get so much into their, I'm not doing this, to where they would put that at jeopardy for everybody else. Like, it's a complete disdain for everybody else. So with that, here's the thing that blew my mind. We were at the welcome show last night, and I think that there was a lesson learned even at the welcome show. At the end of the welcome show, the comedian says thank you. A couple people get up and start to leave. The cruise director scurries out onto the stage, and he's like, hey, wait. Part of the new protocol is we have to have a stage dismissal. So I got to dismiss this side. I got to dismiss the, so please, it doesn't take long. It's part of what we have to do for the protocols to keep, people socially distanced. Can we please do that? And he starts to do the dismissal. So he dismisses the balcony and the right side, his right of the stage. And while he's doing that, after he's made that announcement, this is ballsy. Can I say ballsy? Please, I hope that's not offended anybody. But while he's doing that, 4 rows back, a whole family of people in the center aisle who have not been dismissed yet, they get up and they start walking out of the theater. And the cruise director, he has to say something. He says, hey, man, I just said we're doing this way, and this is the protocol that we have to follow. What's the deal? And the guy's like, well, we're hungry, we haven't had our dinner yet. And the cruise director's baffled. He's like, well, everybody's hungry. And the whole family just keeps walking. It's like a dad, a mom, it's some kids. And I know it seems simple, right? It seems simple, but it's just a basic breakdown of decency in my mind. This guy's like, look, I got to eat dinner. I can't wait 30 more seconds for the guy to dismiss my section. I can't wait 30 more seconds so that I'm doing the right. I can't wait 30 more seconds so that I'm not portraying to my kid that we're the only people that matter in the world. It was disgusting, really. I mean, I don't know, and maybe I'm overreacting to it, but again, because I'm too close to it. But what's going on? What is going on? What is happening when the simplest health protocol, just wait for your section to leave? Is there anything difficult about that? Is there anything trampling about that? I don't know, man. I think we're almost through all of this, really. I think you give it 6 months and all of this will just be a bad dream and things will be better. But it really, this whole time period has really exposed how, unwilling to work. Everybody's selfish, right? I don't want to just say it's really exposed how selfish people are. We all are invested in our own self-interest, right? If we're introspective, if we look at ourselves, we are motivated by our own self-interest. We are selfish on some level. And so I can't just chalk it up to selfishness, but it's a weird thing, man. Why in a theater of a few hundred people, and maybe it wasn't dinner, but it was just so lame to yell out, well, we're hungry. I don't know. Is there any hope for cruising people? Again, these are only a couple people out of many people that did follow the rules, and maybe that's okay. But if you can't expect compliance on even the simplest protocol, what hope? What hope does cruising have other than the fact that it won't matter at some point? I don't know. It's hardcore. Should you kick those people off the cruise? That would be crazy. I couldn't imagine somebody getting kicked off for being that disrespectful. But I don't know. I don't know. It's that cruise life right now, and I tell you what, again, a lot of people, because a lot of the news coverage and stuff like that, so far so good. This is C day number 1, we have C day number 2, and then we'll see what happens when we get to St. Martin. Will we get into St. Martin? Will we get into St. Thomas? And so far everything's good. Nothing's been closed. I don't think Greece is going to happen. That's a little bit of a bummer. I'm still waiting to see if that's true, but I hear that the Aqua Show is going to happen. So we're taking it as it comes. But last night was a great night of cruising. Comedian, really cool ice skating show, tested the fates. Food was open everywhere, live music everywhere, people having a good time. So that's a plus. Boom, that's your cruise news from On Location. What do we do? What do we do with the Defiant? Nothing? Is it no big deal? Am I overreacting? Leave a comment below. Thank you so much for checking out the show today. I hope you enjoyed it. You can show that you enjoyed it by hitting the like button. But sadly, if you don't, I'm forced to punish you. If you don't hit the like button, you will never again experience that balcony view that I showed you earlier in the show. That's a big risky one. You better hit the like button. This is Tony for Lido Loca. And until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye.